Have you ever wondered why some people speak once and the entire universe rearranges itself around their words, while others repeat the same affirmations 1,000 times and nothing changes? It's not luck. It's not random. It's the wealth signal. There are 9 words, 9 exact words that carry the vibration of instant abundance. Words that don't beg, don't plead, don't ask. Words that command. Words that align. Words that open the gates of supply. And if you found this message today, it is not by accident. Your spirit has been called to hear these words because you're ready to step into the identity of someone who no longer waits for wealth, but calls it forth. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "Your word is your wand." Most people use their words like pebbles tossed into the ocean, small ripples quickly forgotten. But when you discover the right words, the 9 words that carry divine law, your voice becomes the tuning fork of heaven itself. I want you to listen closely, because as you hear these truths, something inside you will begin to shift. You may feel tingles in your body. You may sense your chest opening. You may even feel resistance rising. That's your old identity trying to cling on. But stay with me. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to speak once and see wealth obey forever. And I'll tell you this, when you hear the 9 words, you will know exactly how to speak once and see wealth obey forever. You'll recognize them. Your spirit will whisper, "Yes, this is it." Before we go further, pause for a moment and ask yourself, have I been speaking words that signal lack or words that signal wealth? If you're brave enough, share your answer in the comments. Write down honestly, "I've been signaling wealth," or "I've been signaling lack." You'll be surprised how powerful it is to put it in writing. It's the first step in rewiring your reality. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe right now. Not out of habit, but because each video is a living decree. This is not entertainment. This is spiritual law in action. And when you walk with us, you walk into alignment with those who know the secret path to abundance. Now, listen closely. There's a reason I haven't revealed the 9 words yet. Because before you speak them, you must understand the law behind them. When Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of words as wands, she wasn't painting poetry, she was revealing law. Every phrase you speak sends a vibration into the field. That vibration is received, interpreted, and obeyed. The universe is not selective. It doesn't argue. It doesn't question. It simply fulfills the command. But here's where most people miss it. They keep sending mixed signals. One moment they say, "I am wealthy," and the next moment they sigh, "I can't afford this." They declare, "My supply is endless," and then complain, "Everything is getting more expensive." The universe is like a faithful servant, waiting for the order. But if the orders are constantly changing, what can it deliver? Chaos, delay, half-built dreams. This is why the wealth signal is so powerful. It cuts through the noise. It is pure. It is uncluttered. And when you speak it, you're no longer sending out static. You're transmitting a clear command. Now let me share something most people don't know. The subconscious mind, the part of you that actually shapes your reality, only responds to certainty. It does not obey half-belief. It does not obey repetition that comes from fear. It obeys authority. Think about it. If you walked into a room and whispered a suggestion 100 times, people might ignore you. But if you walked in, stood tall, and gave one clear command with authority, everything would stop. Everyone would move. That's the difference between the average affirmation and the wealth signal. One is a whisper, repeated endlessly with hope. The other is a command, spoken once, charged with divine law. And here's where your breakthrough begins. From this moment on, I want you to become hyper-aware of the words you allow to leave your mouth. Treat every statement as law. When you say, "I can't," you've just written it into the fabric of your reality. When you say, "I am," you've opened a decree. If this is stirring something inside you, write it in the comments. My words are law, and wealth obeys. By declaring it publicly, you're anchoring the truth. And as others read your decree, it multiplies, because every shared word strengthens the collective signal. Stay with me, because soon I'll reveal the 9 words. But first, you need to understand the foundation. The wealth signal doesn't work because of the syllables. It works because of the authority behind them. The words themselves are sacred, but without belief, without alignment, they are just sounds in the air. So here's your charge. Begin noticing every phrase you speak today. Ask yourself, am I signaling wealth or am I signaling lack? Every careless word is an order you've been placing with the universe. But starting now, we are rewriting the orders. There is a law written into the universe, as real as gravity, as certain as sunrise, the law of authority. Every kingdom has one. Every home has one. Every life has one. Authority decides what gets obeyed. Think of a courtroom. The lawyers can argue. The witnesses can speak. The jury can deliberate. But when the judge speaks, everything changes. His words carry authority. One sentence from him shifts the entire direction of someone's life. That same principle operates within you. Your subconscious mind is the courtroom. Your fears are like noisy witnesses. Your hopes are like nervous lawyers. But your spoken word, that is the judge's decree. The moment you speak with authority, the subconscious rises and says, "Yes, so it is." This is why most affirmations fail. They're not spoken with authority. They're whispered, repeated, begged, or mumbled. They carry the energy of uncertainty. But when you know your words are law, when you speak them with the vibration of command, your subconscious does not argue. It obeys. Now here's where it gets interesting. Authority is not about volume. You don't need to shout. Authority is about certainty. It is about alignment. When a king gives a decree, he does not repeat it 1,000 times. He speaks once, and it is carried out. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the universe is literal. She said, "Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your destiny." If you say, "I am always struggling," you've struck the gavel, you've made a ruling, and life must follow. But if you say, "I walk in endless wealth," the same law applies. The question is, which decree are you making daily? Now, pause for a moment and reflect. You've been the judge all along. Your word has been shaping your life since your first breath. Every casual complaint, every fearful statement, every whispered doubt has been filed in the great courtroom of your subconscious. And faithfully, life has delivered the evidence to match. But here is the good news. Today, right now, you hold the gavel again. You can strike it in a new direction. You can speak a new ruling. And soon, I will give you the 9 words, the wealth signal, that becomes the most powerful decree you will ever make. But first, let me ask you this. Have you been speaking as a judge or as a beggar? A beggar pleads. A judge commands, and wealth does not respond to begging. Wealth does not chase need. Wealth responds to authority. Take this in slowly, because it is life-changing. You don't need to prove your worthiness to wealth. You don't need to work harder to be chosen. You don't need to plead with the heavens. All you need to do is step into your rightful authority and speak the law. Now, I want you to write something powerful in the comments below. Write these words. I speak as a judge, not a beggar. Why? Because when you write it, you anchor it. And when you anchor it, your subconscious takes notice. And as others read it, the decree multiplies, like one candle lighting another, until the whole room glows. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Because this channel is not just another corner of YouTube. This is a temple of truth, a gathering of souls who know their word is law. And when you subscribe, you don't just join an audience, you join a decree. Now let me tell you a story. There was once a woman who came to Florence Scovel Shinn in despair. She said, "Miss Shinn, I've prayed, I've begged, I've cried out for help, but nothing changes. Why won't the universe hear me?" Florence looked at her and asked, "What exactly have you been saying?" The woman replied, "I keep saying, 'Please God, don't let me fail. Please God, don't let me lose my home.'" And Florence smiled gently. "My dear," she said, "you are not making a decree. You are making a plea. And the universe hears exactly what you say. It hears fail. It hears lose. It hears lack. It cannot translate your fear into abundance. It only obeys the authority of your word." The woman was stunned. Florence gave her a new decree. "My supply is endless. My home is secure. My good comes quickly, easily, and in perfect ways." The woman began speaking it daily, not as a plea, but as a decree. And within weeks, she reported that money appeared unexpectedly, her home was saved, and opportunities she never imagined came rushing in. Why? Because she learned the law of authority. Beloved, hear me clearly. The wealth signal only works when spoken with this same authority. Without it, the 9 words are just syllables. With it, they are fire. So let me open another mystery. Why 9 words? Why not 7 or 3 or 21? Numbers carry vibration. In sacred numerology, 9 is the number of completion, of fulfillment, of cycles closing and new ones beginning. To speak 9 words of wealth is to complete the cycle of lack and open the gate of abundance. It is the final seal. And when you spoke the 9 words, you're not just sending out a command. You're closing the old contracts of poverty and opening the eternal contract of wealth. Now, don't rush. We are building layer by layer. And when the moment comes, when you finally hear the wealth signal in its fullness, You will know why it had to be revealed this way. Because once you hear it, your life will never return to what it was. Before you can carry gold, you must first have a vessel strong enough to hold it. The same law applies to wealth. Before the 9 words can activate, before the wealth signal can echo through your being, you must prepare the vessel, your mind, your emotions, your spirit. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "Your word is your wand, but your subconscious is the fertile soil in which it lands." And what good is the most perfect seed if it falls into soil full of stones and thorns? Think of it this way. If you poured clear, pure water into a cracked jar, the water would leak out. The 9 words are that pure water. But if your inner jar is cracked with doubt, fear, and unbelief, the water cannot remain. So we begin by repairing the vessel. How do you repair it? By awareness, by cleansing, by realigning your heart with truth. Take a moment right now and breathe deeply. Feel where the resistance lives inside you. Perhaps your chest tightens when you think of money. Perhaps your stomach knots when you hear the word wealth. Perhaps you hear an inner voice that whispers, "It's not for me. Others can have it, but not me." This is where the healing begins. Because the 9 words will not argue with you. They will not fight against your disbelief. They will simply amplify whatever you already carry. If you carry doubt, they will echo into emptiness. If you carry faith, they will echo into creation. Now pause here, because this is sacred ground. If you feel resistance, it does not mean you are broken. It means you are human. It means you have inherited patterns, words, and beliefs from generations before you. Family members who said, "Money doesn't grow on trees." Teachers who said, "Don't expect too much." Society that repeats, "Only the few can prosper." But those are not laws. Those are opinions. And they dissolve the moment you choose to step into a higher decree. So here's what I want you to do. Write in the comments these words: "I repair my vessel. I am ready for wealth." It may feel simple, but it is profound. The act of writing is an act of agreement. You're not just commenting, you're planting a decree in the soil of your own subconscious. And every person who reads your words will silently affirm them with you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now. Because each video you watch here is part of that repairing process. Each message is another stitch in the fabric of your faith. And if you stay close, soon you will find that your inner jar can hold more than you ever imagined. Now let me give you a picture. Imagine 2 people. One has a leaky jar. She hears the 9 words, speaks them, and feels excitement for a day. But soon the fear creeps back, and the water is gone. She says, "See? It didn't work for me." The other has repaired her jar. She hears the 9 words, speaks them once. And every time doubt knocks, she seals the jar again with gratitude. Weeks pass, and her jar is still full. Months pass, and it begins to overflow. She realizes that the 9 words were never meant to be a trick. They were meant to be a law. Which one will you be? This is why I must take you slowly. Because when you speak the wealth signal, it will not just stir your emotions for a moment. It will rewrite your destiny. But your destiny is not only about money. Wealth is more than numbers in an account. Wealth is clarity. Wealth is peace. Wealth is energy. Wealth is waking up each morning, knowing you are carried by something greater than yourself. Money is simply the shadow wealth casts as it walks beside you. But the true wealth is alignment with divine law. This is the preparation. You must begin to see wealth, not as something outside of you to chase, but as something already inside of you to release. Florence said it clearly. Man's word is his wand filled with magic and power. But she also said, your world is a mirror of your inner speech. So ask yourself, what inner speech has been echoing inside your mind these last few weeks? If you've been repeating, it's hard, it's impossible, it's delayed, then you've been holding a cracked vessel. But today, we seal it. Today, we repair it. Today, we prepare it to hold the 9 words that will change everything. Every master is first a student. Every commander is first an apprentice. And every decree of power begins with practice. If you want wealth to obey you, start by practicing authority in small ways. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. That means whether you are commanding a coin or commanding a fortune, the law that obeys is the same. So let's begin with the little things. Right now, wherever you are, speak a simple decree. It could be as small as, I command a sign of wealth to appear today. Do not wonder how. Do not chase it. Simply speak it and let it go. Then watch. It might come as an unexpected gift, a kind word, a small refund, a free cup of coffee, a stranger's compliment that makes you feel rich inside. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. They are the universe whispering back, yes, I heard you. We start small, because authority grows with use. Just like a muscle grows when it is exercised. Your authority strengthens when you practice it. When a child learns to walk, they do not begin with running marathons. They begin with one step, then another, then another. Each step builds confidence until running becomes natural. In the same way, the 9 words will one day feel like second nature to you. But before that moment, you must learn to trust that the law responds, even to the smallest of your commands. This is the secret training ground of prosperity. Now, here's a mistake many people make. They command once, but then they doubt 1,000 times. They say, I command wealth. But when nothing appears instantly, they cancel it with fear. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe I'm not chosen. Imagine a gardener who plants a seed today, then digs it up tomorrow to check if it's growing. That seed will never bloom. Authority requires patience. Authority requires trust. So here is your challenge, your test of authority. For the next 24 hours, give one decree, just one, and do not touch it again with doubt. Simply say, I command wealth to show me a sign. And then step aside. When it appears, and it will, come back and comment it here. Share your testimony, because every time someone writes what happened for them, the faith of the entire community multiplies. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Because this channel is not just about hearing words, it is about living them. Each subscription is another voice added to the decree, another candle lit in this circle of authority. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who heard Florence teach about the power of words. He laughed at first. He thought it was too simple, but one day, in a moment of curiosity, he spoke a decree. I command unexpected money to appear. The next day, while walking down the street, he found a coin shining on the sidewalk. He bent to pick it up, and something shifted in him. It was not about the coin. It was about the law. He realized if it worked for a coin, it will work for more. Weeks later, he spoke the same decree again, but with more authority. This time, a client who had been silent for months suddenly called with new business. Then a forgotten refund check arrived in the mail. Then doors began opening where before there had only been walls. The man understood. Wealth had been waiting all along. It was his own authority that had been asleep. Beloved, your authority is not given to you by circumstances. It is not given by banks or bosses or governments. It is divine. It was written into your being before you were born. The 9 words you will soon receive are not creating authority. They are awakening it. But you must practice now. So speak your decree today. Speak it once with certainty. Then leave it alone. Trust the law. And when the evidence arrives, rejoice in it, no matter how small. For the small signs are proof that the great harvest is already on its way. And remember, every decree strengthens the signal. Every word you speak is being recorded in the unseen, sealed in the heavens, and written into the script of your destiny. Authority is power, but love is fuel. Without love, authority becomes empty noise. Without heart, your words lose their voltage. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every decree must be spoken under grace and in perfect ways. Why? Because grace is the energy of love, and perfect ways are the pathways of harmony. Think of electricity. Authority is the wire. Love is the current that flows through it. The 9 words are not just to be spoken. They are to be felt. They must rise not only from your lips, but from the very vibration of your being. Pause for a moment and place your hand on your heart. Feel the rhythm inside you. That rhythm has been beating since before you were born. It has never skipped a day, never once abandoned you, never once failed to serve you. This is the truest example of wealth. Endless, faithful, divine supply. You did not earn your heartbeat. You did not beg for it. It was given. It flows through you freely. That same principle governs your wealth. The 9 words do not work because you strain. They work because you align. They are not about forcing wealth. They are about allowing it. Here is the trap most people fall into. They think wealth comes only by effort, by labor, by endless striving. And so, when they speak affirmations, they speak them with tension. They try to force the universe. They grip tightly, afraid to let go. But law does not obey tension. It obeys harmony. Florence said, Man's word is his wand filled with magic and power. But she also taught that this wand works only when waved with faith, not fear. So how do you prepare the heart? Gratitude. Gratitude is the soil in which the 9 words bloom. Without it, the words lie dormant. With it, they spring up like seeds in springtime. Right now, think of 3 things you are truly grateful for. They can be small: a soft bed, a kind smile, the breath in your lungs. Feel the warmth of gratitude expand in your chest. That is the vibration wealth responds to. Now write in the comments these words: I seal my decree with gratitude. Because gratitude is the seal that makes your decree permanent. When you speak without gratitude, your decree floats in the air. But when you speak with gratitude, your decree sinks deep into the soil of the universe and roots itself. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect moment. Because this journey is not just about hearing wisdom once. It's about surrounding yourself with a community that speaks the same language of wealth, grace, and divine law. Subscribe, and you place yourself in the circle of voices that lift each other higher. Let me tell you a story. A woman once asked Florence, "Why is it that when I speak affirmations, nothing happens, but when others speak them, miracles arrive?" Florence replied, "Because you are speaking from fear, not from love. You are saying the words, but your heart is clenched." The woman asked, "How do I fix this?" Florence answered with simplicity, "Give thanks first. Gratitude prepares the way. Gratitude makes the soil ready." The woman began practicing gratitude daily. At first it felt silly. She gave thanks for small things: the morning sun, her breakfast, her safe walk to work. But soon something shifted. Her heart softened. Her words carried warmth. And when she spoke her decree, it was as if the heavens leaned in to listen. Soon, opportunities began arriving. Unexpected checks came in. Relationships healed. Her life transformed. The difference was not in the decree itself. It was in the heart that spoke it. Beloved, hear this clearly. Authority is power, but love is fuel. Without love, authority becomes empty noise. Without heart, your words lose their voltage. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every decree must be spoken under grace and in perfect ways. Why? Because grace is the energy of love, and perfect ways are the pathways of harmony. Think of electricity. Authority is the wire. Love is the current that flows through it. The 9 words are not just to be spoken. They are to be felt. Words are not equal. Some carry weight, others drift like smoke. Some pierce the heavens, others fall flat. And if you've ever wondered why some decrees seem to work instantly while others fade into silence, it is because you have not yet learned the grammar of the divine. Florence Scovel Shinn said it plainly: "Your word is your wand." But what she also meant is that the universe hears words literally. It does not decode sarcasm. It does not interpret your inner excuses. It takes what you say as law. This is why people who declare, "I don't want to be broke," remain broke. The universe does not hear the word don't. It hears only broke. And so, like a faithful servant, it obeys. This is why those who murmur, "I'm always struggling," continue to struggle. Because those words are contracts. They are signatures written across the fabric of reality. Beloved, every time you open your mouth, You are either signing a contract with lack or with abundance. The hidden language of command requires three things: clarity, present tense, and authority. First, clarity. Do not clutter your decree with confusion. A confused decree brings a confused result. If you want wealth, say wealth. If you want freedom, say freedom. Be precise. Be exact. The universe respects specificity. Second, present tense. Never place your wealth in tomorrow. Tomorrow is always one step away, and so your wealth will remain one step away. Say it now. Speak it now. Claim it now. Third, authority. Speak not as a beggar, but as a commander. A beggar asks, a commander instructs. One pleads with uncertainty, the other speaks with certainty. And the universe, like a loyal army, responds to certainty. Now let me give you an example. There were two women. One said, "Someday I will be rich." She said it softly, as if afraid to be heard. She waited. Years passed. Nothing changed. The other said, "I am wealthy now. I command abundance into my life by divine law." She said it boldly, with the calm assurance of someone who knew she was chosen. And soon, opportunities appeared, doors opened, wealth flowed. What was the difference? The words, the grammar of command. This is the hidden key. Your words are not wishes, they are laws. So let us begin practicing the grammar right now. Say aloud, "I am wealth. I speak law. I command abundance." Do you feel the difference? That is not just affirmation, it is alignment. That is not begging, it is commanding. Now pause. Write in the comments these words. My words are law. My destiny obeys. Because when you write it, you strengthen it. You carve it into your subconscious. You send it echoing into the digital ether, and you allow others to see and silently affirm it with you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, do it now. This is not just a channel, it is a school of command. Every video is another lesson in the hidden grammar of wealth. Stay, and you will not only learn the words, you will master the language. Let me tell you a secret. The 9 words you are about to hear are not random. They are arranged in this hidden grammar, each one chosen carefully, each one carrying weight. They are not wishful. They are not weak. They are carved in law. And once you speak them, the universe cannot delay. It must respond. That is why I am preparing you so slowly, because once the words leave your mouth, you cannot take them back. They will ripple outward, they will rearrange your path, and they will mark your destiny. This is the hidden language of command, and soon you will speak it fluently. By now, you understand the grammar of command. Clarity, present tense, and authority. You know that your words are not suggestions, but laws. And you feel, perhaps more strongly than ever, that destiny has been waiting for you to give the signal. So let us begin. The first of the 9 words is not complicated. It is not wrapped in mystery. In fact, it is so simple that many overlook its power. Yet, it is the foundation stone, the cornerstone, the opening gate through which all abundance enters. The first word is I. Yes, the smallest word in language is the most powerful. Why? Because it is the root of identity. Every decree must begin here. The universe does not respond to vague prayers. It responds to identity. And when you say I, you are naming the authority by which the law is spoken. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Every time man says, I am, he is speaking the name of God." Do you see it? The word I is not small, it is infinite. It is a spark of the divine, the mark of the Creator within you. When you speak, I, you are not speaking as a beggar or a victim. You are speaking as one who carries the imprint of divine authority. But here is where most misuse it. They say, I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky. And every one of those decrees is obeyed. Not because the universe is cool, but because the universe is literal. It hears the law you've spoken and carries it out. That is why this first word matters so much. When you say I, you are pointing the power of divine law directly at whatever follows. So let us practice now. Say aloud, I am wealthy. I am chosen. I am abundance. Feel how different it is from anything else you could say. Feel the authority, the certainty, the spark of truth. Now, pause with me. I want you to write in the comments, I am wealth. That's it. Nothing more. Just 3 words. Because when you write it, you anchor it not only in your subconscious, but in this shared field where thousands of others are writing the same decree. And as you do this, remember, the first word sets the direction. Without it, the other 8 would float without anchor. With it, the law takes aim. This is the beginning of the wealth signal. This is the key that opens the door. But do not mistake me. The first word alone is powerful. Yet it is only the beginning. For once you say I, you must follow it with the fullness of command. The next words will carry the shape of destiny. Stay with me, because when the 9 are complete, you will never see yourself or your wealth the same again. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your moment. Subscribe so that the next words reach you as soon as they are spoken. Don't delay, because every day you wait is another day you are signaling lack instead of wealth. Beloved, you have just spoken the first law, and already the heavens are listening. You have spoken the first word, I, the word of identity, the word that names the one giving the decree. Without it, nothing begins. With it, the entire universe turns its head and listens. Now, what follows I must be chosen with precision, because once you open the door, whatever you allow through will stamp itself upon your life. The second word is command. Why? Because the universe does not respond to begging. It does not bend to pleading. It does not awaken to hoping. It stirs only when it hears authority. To say, I command, is to stop asking and start directing. It is to stop living as a servant of circumstances and to rise as a commander of reality. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, Man must stop imploring and start instructing. Those who plead for wealth keep themselves in lack, because pleading is the signal of absence. But those who command wealth step into alignment with law. They speak as children of the Most High, not as beggars in the street. Say it aloud now. I command. Feel how different it is. It shakes something in your spirit. It pulls you upright. It makes your words heavy with authority. Now comes the third word, and this word names what you are commanding. The third word is wealth. Yes, speak it plainly. Speak it without apology. Speak it without shame. Wealth is not greed. Wealth is supply. Wealth is freedom. Wealth is slow. When you say, I command wealth, you are not taking from others. You are aligning with divine law that already has enough for all. You are giving wealth permission to appear in your world, to manifest in your account, to multiply in your hands. Say it now, aloud, I command wealth. Did you feel the shift? That is the moment the wealth signal begins to form. The first three words, I command wealth, are like a trumpet blast in the invisible realm. They announce to the universe that the delay is over, that the orders are clear, that the servant has spoken and the supply must obey. Now pause. Write in the comments, I command wealth now. Because when you anchor it in writing, you give your decree a second life. It no longer floats only in sound. It carves itself into the record of your destiny. And listen carefully. These three words alone are powerful. Speak them daily, and you will feel energy shift. Speak them with authority, and you will see opportunities open. But remember, we are only 3 steps into 9. The full wealth signal is not only about commanding wealth. It is about commanding wealth in a way that seals it, multiplies it, and anchors it permanently. Stay with me, because the next words will take this decree from power to permanence. They will transform it from a spark into a fire that cannot be put out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the moment. Do not stand at the edge of revelation and miss the fullness of it. Subscribe so that every decree, every law, every hidden word finds you at the perfect time. You have spoken the first 3. The next 6 will complete the command. And once you release them, the universe cannot withhold. So far, you have spoken, I command wealth. Even these 3 words carry thunder. But to command without timing is to leave your decree floating in the void. You may be giving orders, but without anchoring, those orders may circle endlessly, waiting for a future moment that never arrives. That is why the next words matter so deeply. The 4th word is now. Why now? Because the universe recognizes only the present. Tomorrow never comes. Next week is a mirage. Someday is a thief that steals destiny. When you say, I command wealth now, you cut the cord of delay. You stop giving your blessing permission to hide in the mist of the future. You call it here. You call it today. You summon it to your doorstep in this exact breath. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, man can only demonstrate what he claims. Claiming for the future is not claiming at all, but claiming in the present forces reality to respond. So say it aloud with me. I command wealth now. Do you feel how it sharpens the decree? How it pulls the abundance closer, as if invisible chains have been broken? But the decree does not stop there. It needs one more word to anchor it fully. The 5th word is buy. At first glance, buy seems like a small word, a mere connector. But it is more than that. It is a lawgiver. It is the word that names the authority behind your command. Think of a judge's decree. It is not spoken in their own small authority. It is spoken by the power of the law. When you say buy, you are not leaning on human effort. You are invoking divine authority. You are saying, this command is not just my desire, it is law, backed by heaven itself. Together, the first 5 words create a decree that shakes both inner and outer worlds. I command wealth now, buy. And soon we will finish this phrase, but pause here and notice. Already your decree has a voice, a timing, and an authority. Already it has begun to weave itself into reality. Now, let me invite you. Write in the comments these words. I command wealth now by law. Even before we complete the full 9 words, this partial decree already carries massive force. It aligns your subconscious with immediacy, and it signals the universe that you are no longer postponing abundance. And if you have not subscribed yet, beloved, pause and do it now. Because what comes next is the hidden secret Florence guarded, the very law by which commands are carried out. You do not want to miss it. The 4th and 5th words take your decree from wish to order, from future to present, from personal effort to divine backing. But we are not done. The next words will reveal the invisible machinery that guarantees your wealth does not just appear, but appears under grace, multiplied, and in ways that bless you without sorrow. Stay with me, because what comes next may be the most important truth you ever hear. So far, your decree is forming with power. I command wealth now buy. The command is given. The timing is immediate. The authority has been invoked. But what is the system through which this authority operates? What is the channel by which heaven fulfills its orders? Here lies the 6th word, divine. This single word shifts everything, because it makes clear that your decree is not built on human will, not bound by human effort, not restricted by circumstance. When you say divine, you are saying, this command is carried not by me, but by eternal law. You are stepping into a current larger than yourself, a river that never runs dry. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good, but his own doubt and fear." The word divine removes doubt, because it names the source of your wealth as infinite, eternal, and incapable of failure. Say it aloud, divine. Feel the shift. Feel how the decree no longer feels heavy, but light. It is no longer forced. It flows. Now comes the 7th word, and it is one Florence spoke again and again. A word she said was the key to demonstration without sorrow. The 7th word is law. Law. Why law? Because law is impersonal. Law does not waver. Law does not play favorites. Law does not sometimes work and sometimes fail. When you place your command by divine law, you are saying, this is not subject to chance. This is guaranteed. Just as gravity pulls, just as the sun rises, so too does wealth obey this law. The moment you speak divine law, you remove uncertainty. You stop wondering if wealth might come. You know it must come. Because law is not a possibility. Law is a certainty. Say it aloud now. I command wealth now by divine law. Can you feel the completeness in those 7 words? Already the decree stands like a pillar. Already it rings in the invisible as unbreakable. Now pause and write it in the comments. I command wealth now by divine law. This is more than a comment. It is your signature. It is the seal you place in the record of time, showing that you are no longer playing small. And if you have not yet subscribed, pause now, because the last 2 words will finish the decree in a way that not only brings wealth, but brings it multiplied, permanent, and sweetened by grace. Without them, your command may be strong. With them, it becomes unstoppable. The sixth and seventh words, divine law, transform your decree from personal wish to cosmic inevitability. But stay close, beloved, because the eighth and ninth words are the final seal. They are the completion. They are what ensure your decree does not just arrive, but arrives in the perfect way, multiplied and permanent. The next time you speak, you will have the full wealth signal. And once spoken, nothing will ever be the same. You have spoken 7 words that already carry thunder across the invisible. I command wealth now by divine law. Even here, the decree is unstoppable. Even here, the machinery of heaven is moving. But Florence Scovel Shinn always taught that wealth received without grace can bring sorrow. That is why the decree must end in words that seal it, words that ensure your command manifests in harmony, multiplied, and permanent. The 8th word is under. This single word bends the entire decree toward gentleness. It acknowledges that while you command, you also allow the higher intelligence of divine order to carry it in the perfect way. When you say under, you are not lowering your authority. You are lifting your decree into alignment. You are saying, "This is done," and it is done through a system wiser than I can see. Now comes the 9th word, the word Florence called the key to demonstration without struggle: grace. Grace is the oil that makes wealth flow without friction. Grace is the assurance that you will not receive abundance that harms you, but abundance that blesses you. Grace is the guarantee that your wealth comes in ways that surprise, delight, and overflow, not through toil, not through fear, not through another's loss. Together, the 9 words form the complete wealth signal. I command wealth now by divine law under grace. Say them aloud, whisper them, shout them, write them, engrave them into your spirit. These 9 words are the trumpet that signals abundance cannot delay another day. Pause here, beloved, and write in the comments, I command wealth now by divine law under grace. Every person who writes it joins their decree with yours, and together the collective voice becomes a choir that cannot be ignored. Notice something. The decree begins with I and ends with grace. It begins in authority and ends in sweetness. It begins in command and ends in harmony. This is the balance Florence Scovel Shinn taught, that law without grace can be harsh, and grace without law can be weak. But together, law and grace create demonstrations that are unstoppable and unshakable. From this day forward, whenever lack whispers at your door, you have 9 words that silence it. Whenever fear rises, you have 9 words that break it. Whenever doubt clouds your vision, you have 9 words that clear the skies. Beloved, these are not just words. This is a code. This is the wealth signal. This is the decree that reprograms the universe around you. So speak it tonight. Speak it tomorrow. Speak it until the walls of your subconscious echo with it. Speak it until opportunities open before you. Speak it until the money you once chased now chases you. And if you have not yet subscribed, I invite you now. Be part of this community of decree and demonstration. Every video is another law, Another word, another signal of abundance. Don't stand outside the circle. Step in fully. The 9 words are yours now. And with them, the universe has heard your order. Say them again, with faith, with certainty, with joy. I command wealth now, by divine law, under grace. It is done.